I'm sure you can relate to this. All railroad crews, depending where they work, because railroads are broken up into divisions, would have nicknames or derogatory names for the different terminals, whatever. New York crews used to refer to Philadelphia as being Philadelphia.
Yes, we call Filthy Delphia that in New England as well.
Washington crews, because you have crews from Washington, D.C., who come up to New York, we would refer to them as the rebel crews. That's because a lot of times, the crews will take care of each other, but say it's a rebel crew operating out of New York. No, you're not riding my train. No. You go talk to another. And then, of course, the different railroads, because there's a lot of prior railroads, merged together from Conrail and Amtrak and subsequently. So you had Erie Slime, PRR Scum,
Rodney, right? You've seen Rodney Kantorski on YouTube?
CNK, I don't know what they call CNK, but you get the general idea, you know?
We had old timers referring to the Long Island Railroad as the Iron Snail. Used to call it that. And the crowded railroad, some passengers might be displeased for whatever reason. It's just how it is. But for all of its history, all the acquisitions and mergers of various railroads, the Long Island Railroad has remained consistent since 1834. It's still the Long Island Railroad Company. Officially, that's what it's called. It's not changed. We have no intention of changing it anytime soon.
You know what? Different railroad companies might have names for each other and different derogatory names. And we might say, some guys come across, I can't stand this job, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's a brotherhood. It's a family.
Agreed. It's picture a large, fraternal, somewhat dysfunctional family, for lack of a better term.
I can understand that.
You bicker, you argue, you butt heads with one another. When it comes down to it, you tend to look out for each other.
As the father of 6 children, I get it.
And at the end of the day, like, whatever, what's up the problem. But if you ever go up to the Strasburg, the Railroad Museum in Pennsylvania, there are so many guys out there. So many guys I knew in New York, cantankerous old guys. I hate this place. I can't stand this place. Man, this place stinks. But there is a memorial wall out there that someone had to pay to put their name on that plaque. And like, wait a minute, this guy said he hated railroad, but here's his name on the wall. This guy couldn't stand it. There's his name on the wall. It's the job you love to hate. Just like the military, the job you love to hate.
Guys and gals who write that they may dislike parts of the job, more often than not, do not see themselves doing anything else. Now my daughter's coming of age, and after college she wants to be an engineer full-time. And join us Mary Candy Misfits, that is the locomotive engineers. That said, she grew up around us. This is really all she knows. Something she wants to do after college, I have her back. It's not job's not for everybody. Standards for becoming an engineer is actually fairly high. It's a pretty high bar that's set by the Federal Railroad Administration and the various railroads. In order to become an engineer, you have to have an absolute clean driving record. You have to have a clean work record. For the most part, a clean personal record. Training is brutal, capital A, and for good reason. They start you off by training you on the signals. You have to get a 100 on the signal exam before you're even welcomed into the classroom. And there's a reason for that.
It's safety.
I've had hundreds of students over the years. What percentage of those signals don't you think I need to know before operating that train? Your families have to ride these trains. Your
Right.
friends have to ride them. My family rides these trains. Mistakes are treated harshly and many quite unforgiving. So,
As we used to say, military, safety's no accident.
what if scenario earlier. That was the mindset of the Pennsy. Long Island Railroad, we still have that today. We no longer have wayside towers on main tracks. Yeah, as I said earlier, they closed last one closed 2.5 weeks ago. But for all of the railroad's history, the Long Island Railroad, I would tell anybody, say what you will about it, is a remarkably safe operation. Our last fatal accident involving passengers occurred at Rockville Center in 1950.
Wow.
None of us on this car were likely alive back then.
Wow.
Well, likely.
It's like, this would be
So, there have been mishaps as cases, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing serious, unfortunately. Our last fatal accident was in 1950 involving two MP-54 trains on a Gatlin track by what's now called Rocky Interlock in Rockville Center. We have not had a serious accident since, or a fatal accident, I should say. The railroad is incredibly safe. We're incredibly cautious. As many trains as we run every day, we run roughly 1,000 passenger trains a day. A day. We carry more passengers on the Long Island Railroad than Amtrak carries nationwide on any given day. It's a busy, busy place, and it's not slowing down anytime soon.
You know, that's one thing the general public may not understand. When it comes to a stop signal or a delay, it may be an imposition on them, but it's part of our safety practices. And everything is designed with your safety in mind. There's no compromising when it comes to your safety. So, while it may seem like an inconvenience, it's better to deal with that inconvenience than the other aspect. Right now we're in Trenton, capital of the state of New Jersey. What was interesting about Trenton was it was also a very big industrial complex. We're going to go over the bridge in a few minutes, or we're going to see the bridge. They used to say Trenton makes, the world takes, because everything was made in Trenton, from jeans to glassware to rubber. Now, interesting, we're sitting right now on the north side of the railroad. Well, over to the south side, there used to be a siding, and that would branch off and take you down to Atlantic City. That was part of the I believe that was considered part of their Atlantic Division.
Pennsylvania Reading Seashore?
Well, Pennsylvania Railroad. Pennsylvania Reading Seashore used to cut in when they went over the Delaware Bridge. And that's where they used to cut in. And Pennsylvania Reading Seashore, for those who don't know, was a joint operation between the Pennsylvania and the Reading put together because they constantly had competing competition.
Well, I didn't know anybody here was familiar with the Pennsylvania Reading Seashore. The museum train I was operating on Saturday, our parlor car, is an old Pennsylvania Reading Seashore MU that's been converted.
What, the bug car? Those things should be brought back. There's a lot. That would be, in today, a big call for the bug cars. I mean, they were ahead of their time. The RDC cars, they were called, real diesel cars. And today, there will be a need for them, as opposed to maybe 50 or 60 years ago when they first brought them. There's a greater need for them now.
Are you listening, all you B&M Railroad fans?
I can really see the RDC cars, 2 and 3 and 4 car sets being run up down the North Jersey coastline and some of the branch lines, because they would probably use less fuel than some of the new engines do. So I can see the need for them, and I'm a little disappointed that somebody hasn't encouraged the current passenger carriers to take a look at them.